Party pants. Well, lay down. Get in a cool spot. Hello! Salutations and greetings. My name is Margie. I am Heoka empath. I just like having these little talks on the way I feel about things. And being Heoka, you're always feeling some kind of way. Unless you're in the downtime trying to transmit the what kind of way you're kind of feeling. The way you're kind of feeling. So, it's been a even keel kind of day for me. I had all kinds of ideas for good talks. I went to the park, started recording one, got disrupted. It's a weird day. It's a weird day. But we got through it. Now we're on the other side and Mom's soaking her foot and we're just kind of relaxing. So I was thinking about the collective vibe. And I was thinking about how it's such a big, huge versus. It's a versus thing. I see division everywhere. And then I was thinking about how there's like two main vibrational frequencies right now that are just feuding. One of which, as I see it, is truth. There's a reality for every situation. Right? It's truth. And then you have those that I swear they just exist. I thought of this today when I was at the coffee shop. I swear some people just exist solely to create cognitive dissonance. They exist solely to disrupt peace and serenity. It's like they're so ungrounded. Their spirit, their energy fields are so disheveled that they create. And what I look at it, let me reiterate. I don't define cognitive dissonance as the way that they define it in Webster's dictionary. I look at cognitive dissonance when there's a reality of a situation, but people are saying something entirely different and they're trying to create an entirely different reality. Just in words, not facts. Not how people are experiencing life in the event. Just creating words to create a scenario so that people buy into it. I've seen it my whole entire life. You know, how many times you heard an adult say something like, "You better be good." You know, Santa's watching. Santa's watching, you better be good. That ain't true. There ain't no Santa Claus. There ain't no Santa Claus. Hey, why, you know? But you instill that cognitive dissonance and it distorts reality. Alright? So, I was thinking today about how those are the two main energetic energies that are clashing right now. Is that all these people are living in this freaking land of denial, man. It is so weird. No government has ever said anything true, but all of a sudden there's a whole planet that is putting all of their faith in the powers that be. No, that's cognitive dissonance. I don't believe, number one, I don't believe that there are the number of the people on this planet, the numbers of the people on this planet that they say there are. They don't say anything true, man. The census, all that, they're all made up numbers. There's no way you're going to know because there's a lot of people that don't want to participate in your stupid little reindeer games. They don't. So let's see. There's 4 houses down there. We'll say that and we'll just plug in the numbers for them. See, that's the thing. As an IT professional, data, stats, for you statisticians, look at the data scope of who's collecting the data. It's always a very narrow scope. It's always like Gallup and their polls. Who are you polling? Your like-minded buddies. It's all a crock, man. It's all a crock. Data is just easily manipulated, and people will just buy it. Just buy it, because some guy who probably cheated to get his way through freaking medical school to begin with tells you, because he gets paid millions of dollars a year by big pharma and whatever subsidies, whatever bonuses he gets, perks he gets from that's what doctors do. They're just more paid actors, really. Because if they were really about health, they would be teaching and promoting the benefits of keeping the spoon out of your mouth. We had a year. People had a year to get healthy. Year and a half to get healthy. I saw a bunch of people that sat at their desk and work at home desk and stuffed their face, because they emerged bigger. And people don't emerge bigger when they feel really great about themselves. It's not how it works, man. People don't recognize that your body is your soul sack. Right? It's your temple. And some people freaking reserve that temple for freaking the Lucy Fairy Tale Theater. Me? I'm for God. Holy Spirit. Divine. It's pretty. I was listening to Marge Astrology today. She was talking about how not all the spirits are your buddies. And I'm just like, man, you got all these freaking spiritual freaking little kindergartens running around. They're all beginning to wake up going, we've been lied to. Now what? I don't know. Figure it out. I did. Nah, just kidding. We're here for spiritual triage. All this nonsense. I've really been doing a pretty good job of not watching, not participating in any kind of mainstream media. I do pop in every now and again in Twitter, which is just as dumb. I'm like, dude, do people get it yet? Are people getting it yet? The industrial Hollywood military DC industrial complex is all connected. I'm not saying that every group that exists is like I'm just saying that there's in all these big groups and all these organizations, CIA, FBI, it's like all these clubs where people can like go around. I mean, how many people that work in these organizations, NSA, they like go and use the stuff that for stuff that they aren't supposed to be using it for, like their daughters are dating a new guy, so they want to check him out. I know my name gets run. I know my name gets run. I know people that have worked in these organizations. Because that's what they do. They're the frauds, they're the wastes, and they're the abusers. Because it's not your stuff to use. But you got society run by these cheaters and weirdos and stuff like that, and they put themselves in positions of power and authority, and and if they don't like you, they'd be, hey, there's plenty of people in this town don't like what I have to say. I got blocked from the Taos news page. Yeah, there's no free, and it's a family-owned small local newspaper. And if you don't have the same ideals as them, then you are not well. I've been the outsider my whole freaking life. If there's somebody in a group that doesn't like something about somebody, it's usually me, and I'm the one that gets the freaking burr. So that's why it's so easy for me to talk freely about all these shit fucking groups like the United States military and all the federal agencies that imply a bunch of lazy fat slobs to do not much of anything, but they're the real resource hogs. Yeah, I know I piss off a lot of people because a lot of people, you ask them, they'll tell you how hard they worked in their 20 years in the military and what they did for their country. And I tell them stories about how the 6 years that I was in, that I would rock around these tech sergeants and staff sergeants, my little slick sleeve, and I'd tell them things like, I hope you don't go home and tell your wives and your children that you worked hard all day. Because not only are you lazy, you'd be a fucking liar too. And I say this to these people because that's what they would do. I had too much integrity for the military. I couldn't stand the slackers. And then after I got out, I heard about it for 15 years after that, because I still had people that worked in the same places that I talked to on a regular basis, and they just continually talk about how things are going down the toilet. But yeah, these are the organizations that freaking suck up billions of dollars. Billions to kill people in other countries that we have no business being in. So these WA stories, these people that are still there, oh, you don't know what it's like. You're building up a country that we tore down. See, that's the thing, is this country is known for tearing things apart, creating a need, a necessity, a cancer, a growth, whatever it creates things, and then it has to create the entity to remove the thing that it created. It's so fucking stupid, man. There's so much better ways to do civilizations than they've been done. But you get all the guys that are all related and that have all been in the same groups, and they're just from generation to generation and generation that have all been sitting in the same positions in the same offices. There's an idea. There's supposed to be an idea of rotation as service. There is. So things don't get stagnant. So when you have a-holes like the freaking old freaking fart that's ahead of the president now, where he is, he's been the president, or he's been in the position of power for 43 years, and we're still in a freaking puddle of crap. Well, he's not very good at his job. Maybe all the ideologies like him should not be allowed to be where they are. Maybe people in $10,000 suits that work less than half a year, but still earn upwards of $200K. Now, we all know the president is, I think they're at $500K a year for the rest of their lives. Then you get all the people that you got to pay to freaking watch them. It's stupid. And then people like my mom are, and me. I don't even get the freaking, as a veteran, the medical attention that I deserve. I can't get anybody to call me back, but they're still getting a paycheck, aren't they? Darn tootin' they are. See, that's the thing, is too many people in this country got lazy. And because they benefit, they don't like when I talk out about against it. Like when I talk about fat police cops, well, my dad's a cop. Is he fat? Then yeah, he's part of the problem. It's like, where's your loyalty, dude? People will just, even though ask how many kids of police officers all across Atlanta will tell you that their dad's a freaking drunken asshole, beats their mom, does all these terrible things, But they're also the second lowest test scores in the military entrance exam. So you give a bunch of mental midgets guns, new cars once a year, just tell them to go out and just basically just don't pick on all this same color. Just spread it around, But they get to go out and pick on whoever they feel like. It's a trippy, weird, gross thing. And my experience was we had to bring them heaters, right? Because we were base support. They would break our heater ducts. Now, because the industrial military complex is known for jacking up the prices of things, because their buddy has a company that'll make it, and then everybody can rich. These ducks, they said, were like $15,000, and these stupid cops would fucking bend them. They were aircraft heaters, okay? They're not for your car, you fucking idiots. And they would break their shit, and they'd never get in trouble. They wouldn't get told to stop doing that. Nothing like that. And it's just, and then they get out, and then they go back to their city. Now, let me get, I'm of the heart space that I think the world is a lot smaller than people say it is too. Because I've lived all over in a lot of places, and a lot of towns are the same. The people in it, they're the same. You have the same archetypes in every area. And see what happens is you had this group of people that came on the east, and they established how they wanted things to be based on their frame of reference, right? Then some people stick around, and then other people get ideas. No, we want to create our own place someplace else. So they move to establish their own place, right? Right? But yet they still, all these, and this happened all over the United States as it spread out, right? But the towns all have the same street names in them. You know, a lot of them have the same, like the same it's like they just created little pockets of the same all over the place. When they should have been creating little, you know, like gardens of vegetables and fruit and stuff everywhere, plentiful, right? But no, you had the control freak. You had the control freak that says, nope, we're going to designate what you can and what you can't do for your own good. Hence, the beginning of the idea of freedom. We ain't free, folks. We don't live in a free land. And one thing, I really hope I'm wrong about this. This is one, I really hope I'm wrong about this. See, because everybody gets a chance to taste a little bit of life and all of what life has to serve. So I know people a gal I went to high school with, now she had to evacuate. She lives in South Tahoe. Lucky for her, she has family in Redding, so she has a place to go. When there's so many people, you know, whether it's hurricane, whatever your natural, either you got a place to go or you don't. And people like me, when stuff like happens, we don't got a place to go. That's how we end up from freaking Salem down to New Mexico. I'm divinely guided on my path. There is no doubt about that. I followed God faithfully and devoutly this whole last year because I had no idea what I was going to do with me, my 70-year-old mom who had a stroke when she was 38, my 4 dogs and cat. Because the world isn't as open and as receptive, and all those 401k, non-for-profit, all those organizations, they don't do, it never gets to the people. I called the VA, I'm about to be homeless, this lady's going to put us on the street. They did zilch. I was more proactive into finding places. All they did was they were going to provide a voucher to pay for the first or deposit or whatever like that. Okay? See, so now people need to pull their see, now I've known people that it's like their dad has been in Highway Patrol forever, and they were, you know, and it's like, yeah, these are all the part of the people that are part of the problem. The resource hogs. It's not the people on the bottom that are the resource hogs. No. People on the bottom, us resourceful mofos, we aren't the ones with poverty mentality. You effers up there are. You mother effers up at the top. Because you have the mentality. Because you have all this, and it's still not enough. You still lack because you are a soulless, empty vessel of a soul sack. And a lot of people are figuring it out right now that the world, things aren't going to ever go back the way they were. And we're going to find out when everything gets closed down again in flu season. Flu season comes, everything gets closed down. Because you got to impose the fear. Got to make people scared. Because when people are scared, they don't know how to think, and they'll just, okay, whatever, I'll do whatever you say. Brr, 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 brr. It's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be hard to watch. I hate watching people suffer and struggle, and it's just like, why can't you do that for yourself? And then we have all these freaking people that procreated and just made a bunch of kids in petri dishes and shit that they can't do stuff for themselves either. The natural way. Have you noticed that people are? I know a lot of people, like on my feed, I still know people they're having babies and kids and stuff like that, but like it's all in vitro, it's all petri dish kids, it's all mixing and mashing. It's all mad science, man. It's all crazy science, because there's one way that God wants certain things done, and people are getting crazy and greedy and power hungry, man. What people do for fucking that power, dude. You can learn a lot about how treat people. Oh, it's so easy to see. So I haven't been looking on the news much lately. I did look on Twitter, and I saw where like somebody posted like a sign that says, "No to some of us, no soldier left behind means something." I'm like, give me a fucking break, dude. My squadron left me when I was in basic training. It's just another thing people say. People get left behind all the time. And there's and trust, people are not losing sleep about it unless it happens to them. So now we're living in an environment where more and more people are going to get a taste of what it's like. Life, trauma, fear. You lived all the good stuff, but you got this whole other shadow spectrum side that people have earned with the energy that they have put out in this world, but they never got it back, and now it's coming back. Yeah. So, I think I should probably wrap it up. Gotta go. Mom's soaking her toe. I gotta put some hydrogen peroxide on it. We're gonna want. And then one of the little cats are gone outside, and then I'm like, I get all mad. So I don't even want to feed the cats, because that's the thing, man. Is when you live in the fucking ghetto of New Mexico, you have idiots. I'm surrounded by fucking idiots, man. They don't give a shit about their animals. They just let them run loose. So all night long you have like packs of dogs and stuff that are freaking going around like attacking other animals because they have the pack mentality, But when you live in a freaking freaking podunk freaking town, these are the new things that you get to live with. I just get to be grateful that all I ask for is like, God, just let us have a trailer. Just put us in a trailer for so I can, can rebuild my energy system from the last freaking 4 years of hell. So that's all I'm grateful for, is that our family's together, and I need to be more appreciative of that. The way people live, man, it's just like, why they like here, when you live in a small place, all these people got stimulus packages. People don't know how to live within their means, so they buy all this new shit, and then the money stops coming in, but you still got to pay for all the crap that you bought. And then you start seeing all these ATVs and shit, all these bad choices that people made on the local marketplaces. So now you want somebody else to pay for your mistakes. It's freaking dumb. I used to see the same thing in the military, because you have a bunch of people like 18 years old, they get a taste of freedom. I saw the same thing when I worked at a college. You get the freshmen. First week, I worked in the computer desk. All these kids are just freaking booze on their breath, booze, just like hungover, because they got a taste of freedom, and they freaking don't know what to do with that responsibility. But if they would have been given it maybe the whole entire time, then maybe that wouldn't be such a culture shock. Just people that don't know how to live within their means, man. They don't know how to discipline themselves. They always have to have that person that says, don't do that, don't eat that, don't drink that, don't be they don't got that in themselves. And at this point, at the stage in the game, more and more people should have that self-restraint within themselves. And they don't. So now we're going to see more stupid dumbasses doing freaking acting out in crazy ways. I'm glad I live in a small town, man. I got less to deal with. I went to the store today. I can go to the store every 2 weeks. The only other place I go to is I'll go to the park and do a video every now and again. I'll go to the post office, but my mailbox is right by the back door, so I just in and out. They're pretty nice there. Wally World, they're pretty nice there. And the coffee shops, Elevation and the Spot. So there's like 5, so I don't have to be as uneasy. See, that's what, when these things happen, and these big old, the control, the clamp comes down, it's just like a fight or flight with me. But now it's just like, Marge, you're in a comfortable place. And people have been throwing freaking stuff for you to fight or flight from for a very long time. You know how to handle yourself in situations. I just don't want more bullshit. I don't want, and I'm already starting to hear it about the verses between the and the not, the and the not. The and the not. It's just, there's so much verses. There's so much verses out there. This was kind of an interesting thing. I'm going to end up on this. Now, when I went to club meetings, Friends of Bill W. in Omaha, it was like, there are things that I witnessed, like for roundups and stuff like that. Those aren't meetings, so I can talk about that. There's rules. Plus, I don't know, does the 11th tradition even exist anymore? But, because I want to respect some of their ideologies and traditions and stuff like that. But the people in it. And then I think about where I was. I was right there at Offutt, and where I got sober was right in the community in Bellevue, right there outside of Offutt Air Force Base. And the people that started this group, they started in D.C. Came out here, all integrated with the Jesuit University. They all love their Blue Jays, He worked in radio. Her dad was the Surgeon General at the Air Force. At one time I met the man. And I was like, oh my God. And it wasn't until recently, because I posted a picture of a man that was part of the group, but like he started a Pacific group out, and he had a mission, midnight mission, Clancy, out right on Skid Row. And I started putting this together after all this freaking, people, cannibalism and all this stuff, and I'm like, oh my God. If people aren't against something, they're probably for it. And if they think it doesn't exist, and they're sitting in a level of denial, they're still on some level energetically probably for it. So, I was like, Marge, who you gonna be against, Marge, in your game of verses? I'm like, well, if it was a game of freaking healthy people and versus unhealthy people, it would be very anticlimactic, because we saw the evidence of that. But anyway, it was just really interesting, because this morning I woke up. I switched gears real quick. I woke up and somebody had commented about it. And I almost want to freaking message the guy, because they call him a twisted and sick guy, also a sick liar. And I'm like, dude, that's the feeling I always got from these guys, man. And then like, at the roundups and stuff, they like to, there's a group that'd come over from Scotland. They'd come over from Scotland, a group of guys that would play their bagpipes. And you thought, oh, that's so cool. But the reality of it is that you have these fucking sick, twisted mofos in these secret societies that integrate themselves in groups and things for power and control, but the heart space is supposed to be doing good for people. And I get more evidence to verify my belief. The fucking Omaha AA Christmas party this year is at the Sonic Rite Masonic Lodge. But they don't associate themselves with any outside denomination, but they sure as hell have no problem with those secret societies, huh? It tripped me out. I was like, oh my gosh, I am so glad I moved. I am so glad I don't know those people. And a lot of them are freaking have died, you know. But still, the paradigm goes on. The paradigm, you know, but even this C-19 thing has deteriorated that. Because if people want to be lazy and you give them a reason to be lazy, they're going to be lazy. But if they're motivated and freaking are always striving for something a little bit better and, you know, trying to make their lives a little bit better than it was yesterday, hopefully not as good as tomorrow, people have a different attitude. And those are the people that I'm looking for. I'm not looking for the ones that are still going on, that are still profiting. You know, anybody that is still taking people's money at this point, as much as they are these readers, the astrologers, and these readers and practitioners and stuff like that, man, you ain't a real practitioner. You're a business person. You're in it for the money. Because you're given something that is a true ability or knowledge to somebody. And what you return is something that is false, and that is money. Money is a made-up paradigm. What if there was no money on this earth? How many people would not last very long because they don't have the ability to come up with ingenious ways to get creative in sticky situations? They'll just ball up into the fetal position and just wait for God to come help them, because God will save them. Yeah. It's going to be interesting. There's so many different ways this could play out, man. Just the end of the year. Just the end of the year. So, I'm going to try to just live one day at a time. It's getting so fall here, you know. And I'm having a hard time freaking wanting to do these videos, too. I just get caught up in doing other stuff. You know, and I didn't even do anything that great today. I just, it's 6. I'm going to do something. I better do it now. But I encourage people to freaking learn it. You got kids, teach them a trade. Teach them something that's useful. How to freaking upholstery, mechanics, being a blacksmith, all this stuff. Welding that is going to be needed. You know, all these business degree, marketing. I worked at a university. It's all people are paying like $50,000 for ideas and concepts that are going to be irrelevant the next semester, because as soon as they change the syllabus, the information is all of that, accreditations, degrees, because so many people don't earn them. So many people have them and don't deserve them and earn them. And there's so many people that have so much knowledge in this country that have never freaking gone to a university, but they know more than the people that have written the books that are sitting on the shelves in the library about these topics. But because they didn't go and pay somebody to tell them they know what they're talking about, even though they know what they're all that stuff, all of it, go away. Go away, all of it. Did some little exercises today. Did my part in my fitness. That's the thing. I can't be talking trash about people. Hey, keep the spoon out of your mouth. Health is your wealth. Blah blah blah. And then I'm starting to get a little squishy myself. No, I've continued on. But the only thing is, I don't have an appetite, and I like food that sits in my guts. Extra gluten on the side. I ate the same thing pretty much every day. I have a piece of sourdough toast for bread for breakfast, and that sits in my guts. And in the evening I'll eat something. But I have never been. I've always been a snacker. I've never been much of an eater. So I think I'm done. Do you want to say anything, Ma? Oh, and that's another thing. When I hear about, thank you for mentioning that as the first comment that you said. Welcome to my tube. Is that when they are planning these people with the world order or something like that? I'm like, well, they are not good at managing things. They only work half a year. People are really getting lazy. People are really. When I got my first job when I was 15. And I remember kids, like, you know, were picking stuff like that. The poor people reach out program. Like, if your parents were poor, whatever, you could go, they get a job through them. And that was my first job. And I watched some of these people I have watched work hard, like digging ditches, like clearing brush, like hard work. And they've done it for a long time. And now people don't even like to get, they like the benefits from work. They like getting paid and all the vehicles and all the stuff that comes from working, but actually doing it. And then people got a problem giving poor people money. That don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. So, but people don't know how to work hard. They don't want to. Even when I was in the Air Force, that I was like, I would be outside on the line, and they would tell us that there would be conditions that when it would get so hot that you'd work 40 minutes or 50 minutes and then have to come inside for 20, stuff like that. And I was just like, what? What kind of woozy stuff is that? I mean, I'm drinking my water. I'm still practicing operational risk management and working in the, stuff like that. But for people, they condition people to be lazy and to do less and want more. And then you create all these states where they freaking, there's all these, every state has their freaking junkies, man. And then you have your ER junkies, you have your, all you got to do is go to a doctor. They'll give you a freaking pill. When I went to the VA, they were more than happy to give me pills. And I had to taper myself off because they changed my thinking. I won't get into that. Luna! Why you mad? So, what you doing, flip-flops? There's a pretty lady. You bossy and stuff. You drink. Hit the hydration station. But some of us are little workhorses, and I want to get what people think I'm worth. That's why everything I do, I barter. I'm willing to barter. I want more and more people in this community. These are things that I can do. I'm an IT professional. You got computer problems, you got maintenance problems. It doesn't matter. I can fix it. And if I can't fix it, I can figure out how to fix it. That's the thing. Is because I hated being so reliant on people and never getting what I needed when I was a little girl, because nobody around me could do what I wanted. And so I was like, I'm not going to be like that when I grow up. So I went in the Air Force. I did all these things to teach myself how to be painfully freaking independent. So what I want to do, and plus I'm a really cool photographer too. If you want to check out my stuff on Snapnax, on Instacrap, I got some lightning pictures the other day for the first time I was excited about. But everything I will do for, people can pay me what they think they're worth. Now, if I get lowballed, we're probably not going to work together no more. But the thing of it is usually people, they're not lowballers usually, Because especially the people I want to work with will recognize the value and worth in themselves, and they will definitely see it in me. That's why freaking people are, that is funny. I thought it was sweet. Edward the other day, he's like, I'm kind of annoyed that you don't have a bigger following. I'm like, I'm kind of cool with that I don't need that kind of press. Because the more people look at me, the more freaking bullshit I'm going to have to put up with from the dumbasses that I've always had to put up with that are new to what I'm about. So I don't mind keeping my numbers small. I would like to hit 1,000 so I could do lives in other places, though, on my phone. Maybe year 5. Maybe year 5 I'll hit 1,000. Because I'm well into year 4. But being a Heyoka, man, people they identify, when I'm talking trash, it's like, they all identify with what I'm saying and take offense to it. But why are you identifying with what I say? You know, if I'm talking about flats, I'm sure ain't no, if I'm talking about cops that are fat slobs and how they don't deserve new trucks, why are people getting mad at me? Because what, fat cops do deserve new trucks? Why would people get mad about it? Is it mean to talk about, they get paid to enforce, we're the physical standards. They're getting paid by taxpayers to drive around in $70,000 vehicles, and all their uniforms are paid for, all their mileage. They always get discounts in restaurants. That's why they're as fat as, a lot of them are as fat as they are. So why am I the jerk for saying fat cops don't deserve new trucks? When they're the ones that were imbalanced to create the imbalance of them in themselves by not doing or doing whatever behaviors. Go talk to your psychologist if you're having trouble, stuff like that. They didn't do that, so when that's what obesity is. It's an imbalance. When people feel powerless and can't control, that's one thing that they control, what they're putting in their faces. And ooh, grandma used to make this freaking this when I was a little girl, so and grandma made me feel better, so I'm gonna eat it all to make me feel better like grandma did. That shit's just weird, man. But how many people do it? Isn't it just a lot easier to be like, you know what, I'm really upset about, and talk about your feelings? I'd rather hear people talk more and more about their feelings than freaking eat them. Because it's hard to watch, man. I live in Taos, and there are so many freaking little fat kids. I'm like, oh, you love your family, go out and play with them, man. You love your family, you want them to live, you want them to be healthy, you want them to be happy, and the only way to do that is to freaking get out there and move your heart. That's why people are freaking have a heart. Their heart, they don't get their heart rate up for years and years, and then something happens, their heart rate goes up and their freaking heart blows apart because they forgot how to beat that fast. Anyway, for real now. That's about all I got for now. Hope you have a rad evening. Peace.